Now, with poor health and frayed nerves clouding his judgment, he convinced himself that Nasser was another Hitler or Mussolini.
What? Alright, so
in
another epic history
1956,
TV
a dispute
reaction.
over the Suez Canal in
Despite
Egypt
everything that
led to international crisis.
made an announcement
and war.
yesterday. If you don't care to skip this part, I'm gonna go into a little bit more details. Yeah, I'm still dealing with all that stuff, but I'm still going to try and upload a lot. Like, I'm not gonna stop that. All right, so let's
Two
continue.
fading colonial
And if you have any suggestions, again, I'm still gonna react to that. All right, so
powers, Britain and France, expected an easy victory over Egypt, but were forced into a humiliating withdrawal as the world's new superpowers flexed their muscles.
oh yeah, this is when Britain
It was a stark sign that
This is when the USA and the Soviet Union actually came together for once. And freaking USA, bro. And the Soviet Union just basically told Britain and France to screw off. Alright? Like, we're the ones in charge now.
that the age of European imperialism was over, and that a new international order had taken its place. Little remembered today, the events of 1956 had huge consequences for Britain and France, the Arab world, Israel, and the United States of America. This is the story of the Suez Crisis,
This
whose
crisis
fallout
is
shaped
mad.
world affairs for decades to come.
Suez. Oh wait, I thought this was gonna be like a sponsor, so I was about to skip it. A ditch through the desert. All right, and it's true, bro. The Suez Canal is probably like the most important part of the British Empire, which is why I actually had this theory that if Germany had taken the Suez Canal and destroyed it during World War II, Britain probably would have been forced to sue for peace, because without the Suez Canal, the whole empire is gone, right? The whole empire is severed. Sure, they have the Cape of Good Hope, right? But the Suez Canal, this is literally billions of dollars, right? For the British Empire, bro. Especially for the jewel of the empire, aka India.
In 1869, world navigation was transformed by the opening of the Suez Canal. This 100-mile man-made waterway through the Egyptian desert cut 5,000 miles off the voyage from Europe to Asia, as ships no longer had to sail around Africa. Its construction, overseen by French diplomat Ferdinand de Lesseps, had taken 10 years and cost the lives of many thousands of Egyptian laborers.
10 years to be... that is actually like kind of short. 10 years? I was honestly expecting yes,
Canal Company,
reasonable.
which owned and ran the canal, was a private company owned by its shareholders, including French, Austrian and Russian investors, as well as the ruler or Khedive of Egypt, Ismail Pasha.
So it's like stocks and whatnot.
In 1875, to pay off his mountainous debts, the Khedive sold his 44% share in the canal company to the British government.
Whoa, I didn't know this.
As the world's greatest imperial and naval power, Britain had initially opposed the canal, seeing it as a potential threat, but soon proved to be its greatest beneficiary.
Yeah, it's quite ironic that they opposed it.
80% of the ships that used the canal were British, and it became a vital link to the British Empire's eastern colonies. And the jewel in the crown, India.
Yeah, the jewel of the empire.
Control of the canal and the security of Egypt became a vital British strategic concern.
Wasn't Egypt technically a part of the Ottoman Empire, but it was occupied by the British? I always see people say that Egypt was a part of the British Empire. Yes, but before World War I, Egypt was still technically a part of the Ottoman Empire. Let's continue.
1882, when Egyptian anger at European interference in their country exploded into a nationalist revolt. Led by Colonel Ahmad Urabi, the British
That
sent
sounds
a
like a
military
cool name.
force
I'm not
to
gonna lie.
intervene.
Urabi. I love that name.
The Egyptian
Urabi.
army was swept aside, and Egypt effectively became a British protectorate for the next 60 years.
Yeah, Egypt was basically occupied, despite the
British
fact that it was still
control of the
technically a
Suez
part
Canal
of the
was a
Ottoman
major
Empire.
strategic advantage in both world wars.
It's shocking to me how Germany did not. It's shocking to me how Germany didn't blow up the Suez Canal in World War II.
But in the wake
Or
of
didn't
victory
really
in World
consider
War
it,
II,
really and
the
truly.
British Empire was in retreat. India, Pakistan, and Burma gained their independence.
All thanks to the U.S., which, well, it was the United Nations, but the United Nations mostly backed by the U.S. that dismantled the British Empire, and the British Empire is broke. Okay, like people think that America and England are these like best friends. They're really not.
There were revolts against British rule in Malaya, Kenya, and Cyprus. Egypt had received formal independence in 1922. But Britain continued to station troops there and govern much of the country's affairs. Only in 1947 did British troops withdraw to the so-called Canal Zone, under an earlier deal with Egypt's King Farouk, that the British could keep bases there until 1956.
Okay, so everything like seems reasonable for now. I don't really see anything like unreasonable going on, but
Egyptians were turning against Farouk. They blamed him for failing to prevent the creation of the Jewish state of Israel, and for Egypt's defeat in the Arab-Israeli war.
Oh, he's saying the bad word. He's saying the bad word.
They also blamed King Farouk for allowing British troops to remain in Egypt. In the Canal Zone, British soldiers and civilians came under attack from the increasingly hostile local population, with riots, arson and gun battles, leading the British to impose martial law.
But what type of tanks are those? What the heck?
1952,
what type of tank is that?
Nationalist
What in the world?
Egyptian army officers, known as the Free Officers Movement, had had enough.
Oh.
They seized power in a military coup. King Farouk was forced to abdicate and went to live out a luxurious exile in Italy.
Bro. That is one way to retire. That is one way to retire. Bro, a luxurious life? Who wouldn't want that? Like, you still have all of that money. Bro, I want that. Freaking hell, dude.
The following year, Egypt...
That's arguably better than freaking being the king of Egypt, because now you don't have anyone to bother you with, or politics to deal with anymore. Bloody hell.
It was declared a republic.
Do you really want...
Colonel Gamal Abdel Nasser emerged as the new leader and president of Egypt. A committed and charismatic Arab nationalist, determined to free Egypt from foreign influence.
Now that I understand. Like, yeah, like, I completely get that part.
In the 1950s, America and the West were engaged in a standoff with the Soviet Union, known as the Cold War.
Wait, the Cold War lasted until 1989?
Divided Europe.
I thought the Cold War lasted until the dissolution of the USSR, which was in 1991. Why 1989?
Communist East and capitalist West. Around the world, each side tried to win friends and limit the other's influence. Egypt, the largest and most powerful Arab state, would be a valuable prize for either side. But which way would President Nasser turn?
Honestly, bro, communism. Like, why would you want, dude, colonialism, right? Is literally built upon capitalism, right? Like, why would you go capitalist? Like, it just wouldn't make sense for him to go freaking capitalist. Like, he wants foreign influence out. Like, he wants the capitalist out.
US President Dwight D. Eisenhower wanted to win over Nasser, but couldn't grant his request for a major arms deal. They'd most likely be used against Israel, which had many supporters in the US. The US and Britain instead offered...
I don't want to talk about that country. I'm not going to talk about that country here. But it just amazes me how, like, the Arab coalition, like, could not beat back the Jewish state, guys. I can't speak properly. Like, after what happened to me last night, my throat is really bad, so please bear with me.
To fund construction of the Aswan Dam, the centerpiece of Nasser's plan to modernize the Egyptian economy. Britain also agreed to remove its troops from the Suez Canal zone by June 1956. But then, border tension between Israel and her neighbors boiled over as the Israeli army attacked Egyptian-controlled Gaza, killing 38 Egyptian soldiers. The Gaza raid made Nasser determined to rapidly strengthen and modernize Egypt's army.
Why did Egypt give up Gaza? Well, I know they relinquished control over it after one of the Arab-Israeli wars, but I don't understand, why would they give up Gaza? I know it's a part of the West Bank now, but it just never really made sense to me. Like, I don't want to talk about that, but it's just really weird that Egypt just gave up Gaza. You know? Like, these people are, you know what? No, I'm not going to talk about that here, y'all. Nope.
Since the US wouldn't help, Nasser turned to the Soviet bloc and signed a major deal to purchase modern tanks and aircraft from communist Czechoslovakia. The deal was seen as a huge triumph across the Arab world. Nasser further antagonized America by establishing diplomatic relations with communist China. For Eisenhower, chasing an alliance with Nasser was proving a major headache, and the US and British offer to fund the Aswan Dam was withdrawn. It was a move that would prove to have serious global repercussions that neither Britain nor America ever saw coming.
Bro, imagine if Egypt was able to modernize, bro. I'm like thinking about that in my head. Oh my gosh, dude. Nasser actually seems like a pretty good guy who just wants the best for his country. Like, like, this is actually one of the most genuine people that I've seen so far that I've ever reacted to. And look, I know about many people who wanted the best for their country, okay? Like, but still him, it seems like he wants the best for his country. Tonight, our canal will be run by Egyptians, okay?
Only covers lifetime warranty.
On the 26th of July, 1956, Nasser stunned the world by announcing that with immediate effect, Egypt would nationalize the Suez Canal Company. We dug the canal with our lives, our skulls, our bones, our blood, he declared. The money is ours, and the Suez...
Look at the guy with the glasses. Wait a minute. Look at this guy. Bro, my man is vibing, bro. Bro, why is he so drippy? Nah, bro, this is actually drippy, bro.
Our skulls, our bones,
my man is glazing,
blood,
bro.
he declared.
Bro, look at him. He's just glazing.
The money is ours, and the Suez Canal belongs to us.
I should be focusing on the quote, but I'm focusing on the guy glazing, bro.
Build the Aswan Dam our own way. If Britain and America would not fund the dam, Nasser intended to fund it himself with profits from the Suez Canal Company. His speech received an ecstatic response from the people of Egypt.
I love this guy.
Nasser's move
I honestly
was
love this guy,
entirely
bro.
legal. The company's shareholders would be bought out at fair prices. Yet his decision would trigger an international crisis, war, and a new era in the balance of world power. In Britain, Prime Minister Sir Anthony Eden responded with fury to what he saw as a major attack on British national interests. 15,000 ships a year came through the Suez Canal. And from
Wow.
the Middle East,
15,000? 15,000? My goodness.
they brought a vital resource the
Oil.
British economy
Oil.
couldn't survive
Oil.
without.
It's oil. Oil.
it
Oil. Oil.
travels today about half the oil without
What did I tell you? Oil, 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 oil. Everything's about oil. Even today, it's all about oil.
which the
You
industry
know what I find funny about oil? Bro, today, renewable resources are so much more cheaper to produce than oil. But you see, these oil company giants they're so greedy that they don't want to phase out oil completely. So they're purposely phasing it out slowly so that they can get as much money as possible. Guys, if you wanted to, we could have easily been on renewable resources by now. But these greedy capitalist oil companies, they don't want to just completely phase it out yet. Because again, when we stop using oil, they lose their money. So think about that.
of this country, of Western Europe, of Scandinavia, and of many other countries too, couldn't keep going. This is a matter of life and death to us all.
Nasser, as Eden put it, had his thumb on our windpipe. As Britain's Foreign Secretary in the 1930s and World War II, Eden had made his reputation by opposing appeasement, the policy of trying to maintain peace by giving in to the demands
I
of
didn't know
dictators.
that. I never heard of this guy.
But now, with poor health and frayed nerves clouding his judgment, he convinced himself that Nasser was another Hitler or Mussolini, an Arab dictator that Britain had to face down.
What? Yeah, this guy's crazy. Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah. What? He just wants the best for his people. What? Bro, I lost so much brain cells, bro. Holy crap.
The Egyptian president, he decided, would have to go. French Prime Minister Guy Mollet agreed with Eden's assessment. He had an additional reason to want Nasser gone. France was fighting a bitter war in its African colony of Algeria against nationalist rebels, trained and supplied by Nasser.
They were an integral part of France, though. I mean, I guess you could call it a colony, but they were an integral part of France. France annexed Algeria as part of it. So, very interesting statement, Epic History TV.
Britain and France now secretly began planning a military operation to seize control of the Suez Canal, remove Nasser from power, and reaffirm their status as major global powers. That summer, under pressure from the Americans, Eden agreed to host an international conference in a last effort to find a peaceful solution to the crisis.
Lancaster House, London, naturally attracted quite a crowd on the opening day of the
I hope this is not copyrighted.
Suez Conference. 22 nations were represented. Only 2 countries, Egypt and Greece, had declined the invitation to the fateful meeting.
Like Greece.
8
What does Greece have to do with anything? What does Greece have to do? What?
of the 22 nations supported Britain and France's position that the Suez Canal be returned to international ownership. a proposal turned down flat by President Nasser.
Bro, he bought it legally. He bought it. Bro, if he did it illegally, yeah, that's like a casus belli for war, or casus belli. I don't know, man. But you know what I mean. Like, it's a justification for war, but he bought it illegally. What the heck? Britain, France, like, what made them so paranoid about Egypt owning the canal? Were they scared that Egypt was like gonna like go communist side and stop Britain's ships from going through there or something like that? Was that it? Like, I don't understand. Why would they be so scared? I'm trying to like figure that out. Let's continue.
US Secretary of State John Foster Dulles told the British that nevertheless, America would not support an attack on Egypt. Dulles strongly believed that military action against Nasser would push the entire Arab world into the arms of the Soviets.
Yes,
Besides,
he's smart.
President Eisenhower was running for re-election,
Yeah.
and would not welcome the distraction. It was a warning that Eden fatefully ignored. Britain and France had already chosen the path to war.
Britain and France collaborating, that's crazy. I know they collaborated during World War II, but still. And World War I, but still.
Join the ranks of...
This is the end. Bloody hell. Bro, my throat hurts from what happened last night. Look, man. If you're not one of those people who decide to unsub from me, thank you. After I posted what I posted last night. Look, guys, I'm still gonna do my YouTube. I'm not really gonna stop it. My YouTube is slowly growing. It's actually getting somewhere. Slowly but surely. So yeah, I'm not really gonna stop this, y'all. Okay? If you wanna like donate to me, Cash App will be in the description. I have a Patreon, but I'm still getting my Patreon verified. I'm gonna probably like explain like the whole bit with Patreon, because my Patreon is gonna have stuff on it that I'm not really gonna like post on YouTube. Yeah, there will be benefits to having my Patreon, but it's just like not verified still, which is weird. But yeah, man, make sure to like the video, guys. Help me. I really need your help right now, y'all. I really, like, especially the crisis that I'm in. Freaking hell, this is like crisis of the 3rd century. But no, seriously, like, I'm in a big pickle right now. If you haven't checked out the video explaining that, yeah, check out the video explaining that, man. If you have anything that you want me to react to, that you know that I would love to react to, man, suggest it to me in the comment section, y'all. And goodbye.